What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Midas. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my favorite PS5 and PS4 games that I've played and I'm currently playing on the PlayStation 5. So there's not a lot of games to choose from at the moment. There's already been more since the release of the console, as opposed to when it was released, launch day. Before I jump into the video, I'd like to introduce you guys to today's video sponsor, Opera GX. Opera GX is the world's first browser for gamers like you and me. It's especially useful for PC gamers due to the GX control feature, which enhances performance on your PC while gaming and having your browser open at the same time. It also helps get rid of lags while playing games and listening to music. It's certainly ideal if you want to keep a bunch of tabs open so you don't lose them, but you don't want your browser to hurt your gaming performance, especially if you're a PC gamer. It also allows you to limit CPU or RAM usage by the browser, as well as network bandwidth for internet it uses to improve gaming and streaming performance. Another cool feature is GX Player, which allows you to connect your Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music accounts directly to the sidebar in the browser. It also pauses automatically every time you start streaming video or audio in your browser tabs. If you have a Twitch account, you can also log directly into it from the sidebar and get notifications whenever one of your favorite streamers go live. The browser also features other messenger integrations like Discord, Facebook Messenger, and WhatsApp. If you're already familiar with Opera GX, then maybe you didn't know about some of the newest features like Hot Tabs Killer, which allows users to identify the most resource-draining tab. The accents in Opera GX are inspired by neon lights and how they break the darkness of the night. You can customize the browser with special themes, wallpapers, and colors. Don't hesitate and download Opera GX right now. Also, write a comment using the hashtag InstallGX and I'll respond to these comments for sure. So go ahead and download it. The first game I'm going to talk about is God of War from 2018. So this game is a part of the PS Plus collection, which is a collection of about 25 top PlayStation games, and I'm talking Sony exclusives mostly. If you're not familiar with the God of War franchise, then honestly you've been missing out. So this franchise has been around for quite a long time. The 2018 God of War is the 8th installment in the series. So like I said, if you haven't already got with it, you might as well get with it right now. The game has been optimized for the PS5 and looks absolutely stunning. I'll tell you that right now. Y'all need to try that out. It's free to play if you have a PS Plus subscription as well as a PS5. Going crazy, fighting gods, using crazy tools and gear and weapons and powers. You also get to have a kid for the first time in the installment. I don't think I've ever seen a God of War with a kid before. So for me, I've not completed the game yet, but I'm playing it currently as well as other games because, well, there's not much PS5 games to play. Like I said, they're going to release a God of War Ragnarok next year, hopefully. Days Gone. If you haven't already played this game, you need to try it out. If you're a fan of zombie apocalypse type, video games, survivalist type video games, action adventure as well, third-person shooter, then Days Gone is for you. Trust me, go ahead and try it out. The game looks absolutely stunning. The gameplay is tremendous. There's a lot of weapons to choose between. You don't always have bullets all the time. You have to go out and scavenge, so it's fun. It gets you thinking. You have to go. There's a lot that goes on in the game. I personally haven't finished playing it. Like I said, there's a lot of games to play, and that one is another game that comes as a part of the PS Plus collection. So it's free to download and play, so go ahead and try that out. It was probably the first game I downloaded as soon as I got my console and, kind of just dabbled in it. I didn't get right into it. I'm probably going to get back to it as soon as I'm done the game that I'm currently playing, which we'll get to in a bit here. The next game I'll talk about is SpiderMan Remastered. So SpiderMan Remastered is another PS4 game, but this game right here, I'll tell you right now, it's been optimized for the PS5 and looks ridiculously good. SpiderMan Remastered is another action-adventure game. If you didn't already know about it, extremely fun. The fighting is just amazing. There's a lot you can do, a lot of combos, a lot of finishers, a lot of weapons, a lot of, special kind of enemies. If you're a fan of Marvel comics, Marvel shows, Marvel, superheroes in general, then you're going to love this game right here, Ghost of Tsushima. So this game basically won Game of the Year last year, and rightfully so. This was the first PS4 game I actually played and completed on my PS5 console. It's been optimized for the PS5 as well, and the story, oh my goodness, no other game that I've played so far on the PS5 has a story so compelling. I'm a big fan of history, as you'll notice. Most of the games that I like to play have some kind of historical meaning to them. You know, Assassin's Creed, which we'll get to down the line, is just another one like that. This game focuses on the Mongols. So back in the day, when the Mongols will try to take over, you know, Japan. So the island of Tsushima. So you play as a samurai and you have to liberate that island. The fighting is so fluid. There's a lot of cool animations that come with the game. So many cool equipment, you know, cool outfits, armor, that if you're a fan of any kind of history, or you know, samurais, ronins, things like that, it's one of the games that I would advise everybody to play. So go ahead and grab a copy if you haven't already played it. This one's not a part of the PS Plus collection, so you have to buy it. But trust me, it's worth every penny. I still play it every once in a while now. The online mode isn't really all that awesome. Awesome game. The Last of Us Part 2. This is another survivalist game. So you have to go around scavenging for items like food, you know, bullets, ammunition, all of that stuff right there. And it's fun, to be honest with you. The graphics look really good. The Last of Us Part 2 is the only game on this list that's not going to have 60 frames per second of gameplay. And honestly, they already touted that it was going to come out, but I'm done, you know, waiting for it. So I went ahead and bought the game and decided to try it out. Still looks pretty insane on the PS5 to me at 30 frames per second. Unless you're a diehard fan of 60 FPS gameplay, then go ahead and try this one out as well. The storyline is really good, and we already know this is how it works with Naughty Dog. They tend to write or create really good games like Uncharted and the likes. The Last of Us Part 2 is another game that I would suggest you try out and decide for yourself how you feel about it. It's not a free game, so you have to buy it as well, just like Ghost of Tsushima. So the Uncharted series, I'm talking all the way from Part 1 to Part 4, the Nathan Drake Collection, everything. So if you don't know much about this game, just understand that it's a lot of puzzles. It's a lot of, you know, going out there and trying to discover things, find things, locate things. You know, you're searching for a lot of things. It's third person, there's a lot of shooting, and the graphics is beautiful. That's all I gotta say, is it's beautiful. So you get the control guy called Nathan, and you know, there's a lot of animations in the game, climbing, you know, moving around. Very lifelike, if you ask me personally. Very fun game with a very good story. The entire collection is worth playing, but Uncharted 4 is still probably one of my favorite ones of all time. And I think it's because of the combination of the graphics as well as the storyline. The others are really good as well. I'm not saying they're not. To be honest, maybe even play them before you play Uncharted 4, so you get an understanding of the entire story. That's what I did, at least. Let's talk about PS5 games that I find to be my favorite. First of all, we're gonna talk about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. This one has got a lot of mixed reviews from a lot of different people. If you're not a fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise, then you might not even want to play this at all. But if you're a fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise, or if you just enjoy games where you get to scale across buildings and jump across things super easily, you feel like, you know, you're Superman to a certain extent, then this is it right here. The combat isn't the best in Assassin's Creed. It's not always been the best. Not since the first 1 or 2 Assassin's Creed. If you're a fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise, you should definitely pick this up and try it out, because it's the first one on the PS5 console. It's bogged down with, you know, glitches here and there, but what game doesn't have glitches? Let's be honest. Let's be brutally honest. I don't think I have a single game on my console that hasn't glitched out at some point. The game is massive, and right now they've released an expansion pack called The Wrath of the Druids, expanding the territory or the gameplay, the storyline, so you have more to do. Before, you could only travel between 3 different countries within the game, but now you can travel to a 4th country, Ireland. If you get the season pass, you get all of these expansion packs as they release for free. Well, not for free, it's part of the season pass. That's the point of that. But go ahead and pick that up as well if you're looking for something that's, you know, long, fun, and has tons of things to do. Go ahead and check that out. The last but not the least game on this list, you guessed it, it's Spider-Man Miles Morales. The reason why I say this for the last is because it's the best, in my opinion. It's my favorite game on the console so far. God of War is probably gonna dethrone it, as well as Hogwarts. So next year, there's going to be fierce competition for most of these games that are topping, you know, the PS5 right now. Even by August, we're gonna get Kena Bridge of Spirits. I'm not sure if it's going to be a great game, but I know it's going to be a decent game. As long as it all runs smoothly, no glitches, no crazy nonsense, no nothing like that, then we should be good. Spider-Man Miles Morales is the successor to Spider-Man Remastered. So it's the part 2 to that original one that was released on the PS4 in 2018. It has stunning visuals and looks really good, especially when you're swinging around. You can see the difference between the 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second because, you know, you're swinging. So you can see that motion. It's smoother versus, you know, a little bit choppier when you're on a 30 frames per second gameplay. This was the first game that I bought on the PS5 and played through, and I do not regret it. Gave me the best feel, you know, best experience of the game console, and I love it. I love that game. I still go back to play the New Game Plus that was unlocked as a part of completing the game. New Game Plus just allows you to play with all of your skills and all of your weapons and everything you've unlocked throughout the game. So you get to play the whole game from start again, using all of those things or keeping all of those things. Most of you guys might wonder, oh, where's Fortnite? Where's Call of Duty? Where's Resident Evil 8 even, you know? So all those games right there are not, you know, my kind of cup of tea. It's just me personally. I'm not saying they're bad games. I just don't play those kinds of games. You know, I'm not really into first-person shooters. Y'all can blast me for that, but that's a fact right there. I don't play those games. I'm a third-person kind of guy. It's how I've always been. And that's the thing with those kinds of things. If you're a first-person shooter, you're a first-person shooter kind of guy. If you're a third-person shooter kind of guy, you're a third-person shooter kind of guy. Some guys can do both or enjoy both, but me, you know, I dabble sometimes in the first-person shooter scene, but most of the time I don't, you know, touch or engage with those games. I would like to know what kind of games you guys enjoy playing, first-person shooters or third-person shooters, or even both of them. So comment down below which one's your favorite or kind of game to play. That's it right there for all the games I've got for you guys. A bunch of PS4 games and maybe only 2 PS5 games. For me personally, there's other PS5 games out there as well as other PS4 games out there that I probably haven't mentioned. Doesn't mean that I hate them or that I don't like them, but these ones that I've talked about so far are the ones that are most memorable to me on the console so far. Those are the ones. So we'll visit this topic again in about a year from now, and we'll see where we stand with these top PS5 games. But that's all I've got for you guys in this video right here. If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to run the lights up on it. And I would like to know what games you've played on your console so far. If you have any special games that you would like to recommend to me, just don't talk about no first-person shooter games, only third-person shooter games. Let me know down in the comment section. And I will catch you guys in my next video. It's Midas, and I'm out of here, y'all.